Tell me if that's better. Okay, awesome, 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 awesome. Sorry, guys. I have never actually used OBS before, so yeah, that's it. Okay, so now actually officially welcome to the first Maghni AI stream. We are going to be answering some of the questions and also, thanking you guys because we are now at, what was it, like 88% within like 2 days. That's amazing. And we wanted to thank you all for that. Yeah. Oh, someone asked, what's my cat's name? I have two cats in this room. My husband accidentally let them in, but they are Chip and Pancake.
And Chip is a little demon, to my knowledge.
Chip is a little goblin. I might have to let them out. So, yes, we are ready for any of the questions that you guys have or anything that you want to ask us about.
First off, thank you all so much for getting us to 88%. That's insane. It's been so fast.
Oh, you're so quiet.
Oh, I was now.
Well,
okay,
gosh.
There we go. First off, thank you everyone so much for getting us to 88%. That is insane. It's been so fast.
Yes.
Thank you all. We're just gonna express how appreciative we all are. Hopefully all these tech issues won't happen again as we start having these streams more regularly.
Yes. Sorry, this was my first time doing it, and so I had to have a lot of people help me on this.
It's a learning process.
So, okay, yes. So, first question we got is, this isn't as important, but with all the placeholder artwork finished and to be released or haven't been made yet, some of the artwork is placeholder for the actual thing, and the designs themselves are not finalized, but they will be finalized, in due time. It was just as a placeholder, mostly. Second question, when will you be revealing new voice banks? We will be revealing more, it depends on if they're, like, third party or not. Third parties can, do it at their own discretion, and their own comfortability. But it's, for a lot of the first party libraries, we will be revealing them in due time, and especially since, as more libraries get finished up and more get demonstrated, especially the ones that we are having, near launch libraries. Some of the libraries we have far out in the future and whatnot. Yes.
Can we first off go around and introduce ourselves real quick?
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm a little sporadic right now. I look crazy. I am so sorry. This is my first stream doing this, so I'm a little bit off. My sincerest apologies. Okay, everyone. My name is Natai Shmueli. I am the head of Mizba Studios. I have done linguistics works for over 10 years, and that includes working on various things such as working with Vocaloid Oliver and working on the Kabbalah Center. We are doing a Zohar app right now, so for liturgical work. That's a major project that we're very excited about. And various other things. Okay. Austin, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, oh, sorry. Have a little cold. But hi, I'm Gregory Austin Grissom. I am the CEO of Vocatone Studio, and I'm a director of Maghni AI. I've been working on vocal synthesis stuff for over a decade. So it's so amazing to finally be able to kind of take all this experience and just all this know-how that I picked up along the way and integrate it into something that we're all passionate about. And it is mind-blowing to see that, you guys are pretty passionate about this too. The reception has been amazing. Kind of veering off an introduction, but hi. So happy you guys are here today, and I hope we, can answer all the questions you have. Crossy, would you like to go next?
Hey, is that working? Okay. I'm Crossy. I'm the lead artist for Vocatone. I'm also the vice president. Any questions about the characters and the artwork, I can definitely answer for you. It has been extremely unnerving, I suppose, building up to this. But seeing the outpouring of support was extremely comforting, and I'm really happy to be talking with all you guys. Yeah, there she goes. Cats. I may be terrorized by my own cat in the future, so I might be intermittently muted.
Natalia, can you turn the Discord output volume down just a little bit? I think that we're all slightly too loud. People tend to be saying. Oh, I think she's gone.
Sorry, I'm back. I had to set my cat outside. He started making a lot of noise. My husband accidentally
Yeah,
let him into the room at the last moment.
Would you mind turning turning the Discord input in OBS down just a little bit? We all appear to be a bit too loud.
Okay, I'm gonna turn that down as much as I can. Tell me if that's better.
Okay.
Sound.
So, I guess I can go ahead and introduce myself. Hi, my name is Caleb Long. I am a software engineer. I work professionally at my day job, and I am also the CEO of Altbox, which is Maghni AI's first third-party company. I've been assisting with the development of Maghni AI for about a year now. It has been absolutely amazing working with everyone here, and I am the main backend developer in our suite of developers. I'm very excited to work with all of you, and I'm so excited to get to know everyone and every one of our fans.
Yes. Okay, now I'll start reading the questions. Oh, Barham, sorry. I thought you went while I
You're
was
good.
over there. Sorry.
Hello, everyone. My name is Barham Karim. I'm the CTO of Misbah Studios and the developer of Maghni AI engine. I've been working on Maghni AI since the beginning, and I'm excited to answer any questions you might have tonight.
Do you want to talk about some previous projects you've done? Like you
Yeah,
or Caleb?
so I have a background in DSP, and before I've been working with telecommunication companies and audio compression and audio processing.
My background is in medical technology and educational technology. I have primarily worked on passion projects for the vocal synth community. I haven't ended up releasing many of them, unfortunately. I prefer to stay a bit private, but hopefully it's going to change now.
Awesome. And for people who don't know, DSP stands for Digital Signal Processing. Okay, now we can actually take about it. Let's see. The next question that I got is, in the close future, will we be able to contact you guys to produce voice banks? And yes, we will be taking third parties as well. You will be able to contact us. We do have standards, and we do want certain things put into place, especially for quality control. But as far as it goes, yeah, it's going to be. You definitely can contact us in the future. Next question: what is the project timeline? After the Indiegogo is completed, are there estimates for when various project milestones will be completed? Caleb, we'd like to talk about that?
Sorry, I was on mute. Of course. We do currently have an internal project timeline. We are not really ready to share that yet, unfortunately. Things are currently somewhat turbulent, and I'm scared of promising something. I'm promising something to the community and not being able to fulfill that. So we would rather wait just a few months and get a fully fleshed out timeline for all of our implementations and all of our features and live streams and voice bank reveals. That will likely come around, let's see, March or April is when I would say that we would reveal our public timeline. Please bear with us for that. We are still in somewhat of a turbulent stage in terms of funding with the crowdfunder and all of the feedback that we're getting. We want to ensure that we provide the absolute best possible quality product while maintaining complete transparency and communication with you.
And we will be giving you updates in between them. We're not going to be radio silent all the time.
Of course.
Of course. No, we are planning to have weekly updates for the crowdfund, and starting with this meeting, we are planning to have monthly live streams where we go over just any news that we have and get a general feel from the community and take feedback and responses.
Okay, and then next question. Will there be physical inserts for the? Will there be special inserts for the physical releases? Crossy, that's a question for you.
There will be special inserts for each language if as a stretch goal. That would be the special inserts on the stretch goals. There will be a special design and illustration for each language if we achieve that goal. And you will get copies for these. Like you can switch between them. They will just come with your order.
Okay, perfect. When are we going to hear
Wait, just
Armin?
cut-
Oh, sorry. What was that, Crossy?
Sorry, no, I just embarrassed. My brain just cut out at the end of the sentence.
No worries. When are we going to get Armin Aldine demos? We've been waiting for years to hear them. We're going to show off some more demos of the whole entire project as time goes on. So especially with Armin Aldine, we switching over to our new methodology. As you guys know, originally Maghni had a blend of concatenative and AI synthesis. And as time moved on, we found that AI synthesis is just an easier way to work with libraries. We especially saw that a huge increase in development cycles, cutting like months out of the equation to make a whole entire library, and that made it a lot easier. So the voicers did have to re-record, and in regards to that, it became its whole entire new thing. So you will get to hear that as soon as we get like everything fixed up in terms with them. But so far we've been having like really pleasant results, and they're both very talented singers. How is language implementation going to work in Maghni? That's my question. And what influenced the choices of the initial 40 languages? Okay, so I can't talk too much about the technology because proprietary stuff. But do you guys know how? This is the best example that I can give. Do you guys know how Google Translate works? Where it works on WordNet, where words and languages learn from each other based on actual like communication and like phrases and one-to-one translations. Maghni works in a similar way. We are, by using our system and labeling the languages based on differences between language A and language B, it's able to actually increase the number of languages. So that means even low resource languages that we don't actually have a lot of resources for online, will actually be able to also synthesize, because it's going to have that, but it's still going to retain the intricacies of that individual language. So it's specifically built around the technology of low resource languages. I wanted to make sure of that. Myself, I am Arab, as some people know, and there's not a lot of fantastic Arabic resources out there. So I had to think about like what would be the movement forward with that. And even regarding that, there will be... Sorry, my microphone's buzzing a little. As we get more languages, it will even improve the whole entire system further and the whole entire overall workings. And what influenced the 40 languages? It was just what we could implement throughout the whole entire movement. It's different training models and et cetera, was like how much we received through it. But as we get more funding and as we continue throughout the whole entire process, we'll be able to implement even more. And that's my goal, is to make it super easy for anyone to be able to synthesize in the languages that they speak, and no matter how big or small. A few questions. Will be there next question. How do you guys make Oliver's voice library? Did you use a new voice provider or old recordings? So library recordings are owned by Yamaha. So we did hire a brand new voicer. He is incredibly talented. This question wasn't asked yet, but I'm going to preface with this. He is an adult. We don't feel comfortable working with minors because we have been focused especially on ethically sourcing data, and it's very difficult to do that with children. We were children when the original Oliver was made, but it's very different now. So now we're focused definitely on, it being produced more ethically, but he's very talented, and I honestly sounds one-to-one, which is why a lot of people have wondered if we have been we've been using the same voice library from before. Will there be a light versions of voice banks like Synthesizer V has, and will there be an ability to create your own voice banks? People can, like I said before, purchase a license for Maghni, but we do not have any specific plans for light voice banks in the way that SynthFeed does. but we are looking at like how to project manage if people do want to be able to test out libraries. There's several different methods that we've thought of, but we our biggest concern is being that like it not always being 100% a reflection of the actual finished project. Can you share information about how Maghni AI differentiates itself from competing AI bases on a technical basis, studies specific neural networks? Barham, would you like to ask?
Yeah, so Maghni AI is the result of years of research, improving upon what's out there as software and using our own techniques. I can't do a one-to-one comparison because there isn't something that I can refer to. But I guess the difference will be seen in the voice and the quality output of the engine itself. Unfortunately, we can't talk about too much like implementation details.
That's mostly due to the fact that all of our stuff is created in-house, all of the technological aspects, and it does concern us if someone were to be like, well, if someone that understands like DNN or DSP would be able to like just recreate our methods. I'm actually like biting my tongue that I told you guys about our LanguageNet model, but I'm trying to be full transparency here. But yeah, it is our own research that we did, and it's over those several years, based on our own like creation. It's our own DNN model.
Natalia,
Yes.
could you please right-click Barham and turn him down a little bit? People are complaining.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, he's at max volume when the volume's already high.
Okay. Tell me if that's better.
Barham?
Sorry to interrupt.
Okay,
No worries.
this is a test.
I'd like to ask, after the crowdfund ends, the cost to produce a voice bank will be the same as the Maghni Maker Deluxe tier, or will it be completely different? So I don't. So it is semi representative of like the price, but we don't. We would prefer discussing it in like versus like a whole entire crowd setting in a more one-on-one setting with developers. But it is like we are very focused on it being more of an approachable price. We don't feel like it makes sense to be 100% breaking the bank just to make a library. We want it to be able to be very approachable and cheap enough that people will be able to work on it.
If I may add on to that,
Yes.
the cost of $10,000 was chosen specifically for the crowdfund.
Mhm.
It is not representative of the true cost that producing a library will take. And again, if any companies would like to contact us, we will have our official email on the Vocatone website that you can email, or the Nisbet Studios website, that we could discuss further in email and come to a conclusion. I would expect that we would be able to progress further with those conversations when we're closer to release, as we're still rather early to be discussing additional third parties. However, it is never too early to get in touch.
Yeah, that's a perfect answer. Thank you. What does the 20,000 being raised into Indiegogo actually represent in the scope of the actual project cost if the developers are funding partially out of pocket? I think that's a good question specifically for Caleb.
I'm sorry, would you mind repeating the question? I
Sure.
was handling something in chat.
Sorry. What does the 20,000 being raised into Indiegogo actually represent in the scope of the total project cost if the developers are funding partially out of pocket? So one of the biggest
Sorry?
things. Oh, did you?
Sorry,
Yes.
I was trying to unmute, but I think I muted instead of unmuted.
Oh no, no worries.
So the money that is in the crowdfund, that the 20,000, we do have an allotment graph on the website that shows to roughly the correlation to where each percent of the 20,000 or more raised will go. The percent going to developers is largely as supplementary income. Our developers are being paid currently primarily out of pocket, which limits the amount of development that is possible. So through this crowdfund, we're able to supplement income to get more time working on Maghni, to get more resources towards the project will help speed it up. At the current rate we were going, we unfortunately wouldn't be able to provide a product to you in a reasonable time frame. So with this crowdfund, we're able to speed it up and get something to you within the next year that's going to hopefully blow you away.
Yes.
There are other portions of it that are going to recording studios for some things that we can't do out of pocket, as we are still limited to our funds, unfortunately. And additionally, like legal fees, there are some other sources, of course, but programming is the major one.
How's the dialectical wrong word wrong word? How is the dialectal support for languages other than English, since some languages differ wildly across dialects? So, since this is general news sense, I assume you're speaking specifically about French. So, our model actually is speaker conditional. So that means it does, as you heard with Oliver, retain the accent of the speaker. And that can also be implemented with, we can also even supplement it later with extra dictionaries if there's specific ways that words are read separately from other ways. But that's the biggest being that is that our model itself is speaker conditional and retains the speaker's pronunciation. Can you guys give a little bit more of a hint about Portuguese? Specifically the difference between European and Brazilian Portuguese. Yes, I have it set up that European and Brazilian Portuguese work functionally as two different language nets. I did this for several other languages where there's huge varieties between the dialects, like European Spanish and like Latin American Spanish. I did this in a couple languages. But with that being said, yeah, we'll have not only be two different nets, but also within the even building in two different dictionaries. We have one of the voicers, two of the voicers I'm working with. One of them is from Sao Paulo, and one of them is from Lisbon, and so we have to be able to be prepared for both of their different accents, which are wildly different. I know that you've all changed the engine. How have the work that was completed under the previous AI engine was able to... Oh, how much was... Okay. Sorry. I know that you all, after we changed it, how much of the original engine was able to be transferred to the new engine? Barham, that's a question for you.
Yeah, so our AI engine is basically built from scratch compared to the older engine. And we moved our backend from Juice to another technology stack. So there's almost nothing that's shared between the old engine and the engine that we have now.
Yeah, it's a complete... Yeah. Very good answer. Sorry, I was reading the next question. This one says, will there be a product timeline? Okay, we answered that. Will there be kind of any standard libraries or just AI? We are focused on solely AI. However, Caleb, do you want to actually talk about the model that you created, which is super cool?
Of course. I personally have been developing some bits of the backend, specifically the timing model, which controls the predetermined timings of each phoneme that are generated from your words that you input into Maghni. So with this, I have been implementing what I've been temporarily deeming robot mode. I'm not entirely sure what the final name will be, of course, but this will be effectively a system where it's a toggle for each note that allows you to have predefined settings that will crunch the timings to make them sound incredibly robotic. This would be a result that would sound more concatenative as opposed to AI. It is effectively attempting to replicate the sound of our original line of products with our new products. These, of course, would be of a lower sound quality than our default pronunciations, but they would allow for people who prefer that old sound or who prefer a more robotic sound, as I know there are many people in the community who do prefer that. I personally am one of those. I do believe that that setting will be able to give them the flexibility and the features that they might seek in a modern engine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, can you reveal what languages have been worked in so far? So I actually sent him the other day our German model. Implementing new languages is easier than ever using our methodology. So I sent him the data for German. I've sent him the data for Russian. I've sent him the data for Georgian. These are very easy to implement now. Him being Barham. And so implementing these new models are a lot easier. And we've seen really high quality results. However, I will say this: we don't feel that the base engine itself is at the standard that we want, which is one of the reasons that we're kind of waiting on showing cross-lingual representation. Is we don't feel like it's up to our standard even on the base yet, which is why we're doing this crowdfund. But we feel that we'll start showing cross-lingual data after we feel like even the base model is up to our standard of quality, and especially when we're able to get voicers into like better recurring environments. The Oliver settings were a little bit echoic, and they weren't in like the best standard, but it was enough for us to be able to show off what we'd been working on. But that's just the general idea.
Yeah. When working with non-native languages or languages that we're not as familiar with, we have to be extremely sure that they're being respectful and paying attention to make sure that they're high quality and accurate to the language itself. Otherwise, what are we doing? So we spend a lot of time working on each language. So we are hesitant to show what we have because we definitely do not feel it's up to standard currently. That would hopefully be something that we can show off in the next few months.
Right. Okay, next question is... Okay, here's a good one. Hi, I want to work on the campaign but can't use either of the payment methods supported by Indiegogo. Will any of the other tier reward items become available for purchase in the Vocatone store in the future? Awesome, would you like to talk about that?
For sure. There are some things in the tiers that we're not going to be having in the store later, but some things, yes. I think the physicals is something that we're keeping. I believe.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So some things, yes, but a lot of things are going to be exclusive just to the Kickstarter.
Yes, and I was also going to mention we are probably going to be opening we've been getting a lot of requests for this, and I genuinely thought Indiegogo supported PayPal because I looked online and several articles told me it did. So then when push comes to shove, it didn't. So we are going to be opening a Alipay and a PayPal for people who wish to be able to use those as well.
Alipay might take a bit, but PayPal we're going to have up ASAP.
Yes, and so you'll be able to message us. We'll create a form that you'll be able to submit it, and it'll work in as well, and we'll get that on the thing as well.
I should be posting that tonight.
Yes. Let's see. Is cross-link synthesis going to be a thing for Maghni? Yes, we will. As I said, but it's going to be a thing that it's not going to be an at-launch feature. We want to make sure that everything is good on the base model first. But it is going to be a feature that we are implementing because what's the point in like having support for 70 languages if you're only limited to like one per library? And I know that some of the lower resource languages are going, like, I don't want them to feel ignored. So if there is a library that you like, but that library is only available in a language that is not super, that doesn't have as many like speakers as like English, then you'd still be able to use cross-link with it for that. How much is the finished project? I keep reading project. How much is the finished product going to be? The base engine itself is 100% free. I took this motif mostly from a lot of the way that VST engines usually have it. An example being like the Play engine by East West, or several other engines where the engine itself is free, but you just have to pay for the libraries, which to me makes the most sense. And it's also the way that people will be able to work with it more. But the libraries themselves are going to be usually about 85. Give or take. It depends on the third party. Like for us, it's all 85. But yes, does the Indiegogo, except PayPal. Oh wait, I answered that just a little bit. Hi Crossy, I love your artwork. What happened to your Twitter? Crossy.
My Twitter. I have a Blue Sky. I just don't work professionally on Twitter. I don't use it professionally. I don't want. It's not like I'm hiding anything. I just like don't. I separate my personal life. I do have a work contact on Blue Sky. It is at Crasso Live. Blue Sky recently rolled out an update where you can look at Blue Sky profiles. Thank God. So if you do want to see what I'm up to, want to see any art or tangential art related to the project, I will be posting there. I've been posted a bit about the lead up on there already. If you're interested, don't look at my Twitter.
Yeah. So next question.
No.
The custom sample voice add-on. How does it work? I understand the word limit, but what limitations are there besides that? Also, are they custom recorded? Thanks. Yes, they are. It is going to be almost like an X voice, so that way people can have that for their project. So if you want it like for the 3-word limit, specifically going to probably try and think about like what you would use it for. If you just want to be like, "Hi there, everyone," you could, but it could also be like, "Play those drums," or whatever you think would be like the most beneficial for a project. But yeah, it's going to be like, it will be. They will be recorded for the database, or not for the database, for the X voice is. Let's see. Will Maghni be able to be downloadable? Yeah, so the Maghni engine is going to be downloadable through the official website that we're currently building, and that way you can actually access it directly, and it's going to be a very easy process to work with. Is this stream going to be re-uploaded? It's 2 a.m. for me. We are going to leave it up, yes. This has been on my mind since the announcement, but why y'all decided to... why did y'all decide to show a voice bank with only 7 songs as a data set and not a fully done library? And we wanted to show the potential. We wanted to show what it would look like. Just 7 songs, we wanted to show what it will sound like in the future. We considered it was also time frames. We wanted to be able to get something out specifically for Oliver's birthday and Christmas time, but we also wanted to show what the potential of Maghni will sound like. So after everything is done, Oliver has more low data. Oliver is more fully recorded. We wanted to be able to show what it would sound like. So I feel like 7 songs was a very good base.
And we will have Oliver demo over the course of the crowdfund. You will hear him properly. Don't worry.
Yes. Will we be able to customize the UI at all? It looks cool, and something like a light/dark toggle or custom colors will be way more accessible. Yes. Aku was unable to call, but he actually did leave me a message related to that. So let me pull that up. 1 second. He says, yes, we are investing special time and effort to create a highly customizable one with official user-made skins and accessibility for dyslexic fonts, color blindness contrast, and in the future, even more options for visually and hearing impaired users. And for me specifically, my vision's getting worse as time's gone on. And also, I'm dyslexic. So for me personally, dark mode on a lot of programs with light text is it starts blending in. And on the opposite hand, light mode is just blinding. So I prefer things being almost a gray mode. So that's something that I had to think about as well. Let's see here. I'm curious to know if you're expecting anyone to take a slot to be a voice on the engine. And more to my interest, how does the voice creation work? Both tech and contract. As far as libraries work, you can probably piece together our technological backing on you sing, and it takes a pretty decent. It's not super heavy song wise. It is. Previously, it took about 2 hours to record 2 hours per pitch on a Vocaloid, and now it's 2 hours for a whole entire database in Maghni. And it's so much quicker because you don't have to chop up samples. You don't have to worry about that. So it has been a lot easier. And they said also, has anyone shown any interest? We've actually gotten a lot of interest. We have gotten quite a few people asking questions, and we've been talking with people about it. It's only been 3 days, 2 days, and who knows, we might see something there. Will Maghni libraries be able to sing in languages they weren't originally made for, such as Oliver singing in Spanish? Yeah, I mentioned earlier that we will be doing cross-lingual, but it is going to come down the line. We want to make sure that the base is up to our standards first. Let's see. Will physical editions for the announced voices be available after the crowd? Yes, so it will be. Hello, I don't speak English at all, but I want to thank you for training Arm in Spanish. It means a lot to the Spanish-speaking fandom that enjoys your characters. Yes, Arm's
Glad
voice
that you like that. We want to give you everything you want. Please let us know if you need anything else. We're here.
Yes. Is Maghni diffusion based? Yes, actually. So the way that Maghni actually does work is the more libraries we have, the more languages. I already talked about languages, but the more libraries we have, the more it'll improve by comparing and contrasting speaker A and speaker B, singers. By comparing and contrasting singer A and singer B, it'll improve the other models because it can then use a way to understand what the differences between those models are, and it'll improve those. So if we have, let's say, Oliver, who's a voice soprano, and Adine, who's a mezzo soprano, and Aram, who's a lyric tenor, Gabriel, who's a bass baritone, and Glacia, who's a contralto, they're going to help fill in the other range of the others versus just one trained library. So it's going to end up filling out the others more as well. And it will be able to predict what Oliver would sound like being able to hit an F2, technically speaking. They'll improve as that's one of the benefits of that is that none of our libraries will ever really go out of style technologically. They'll always be able to improve on themselves. Is it possible if you decide to make a singing synthesizer for Maghni as well? Or speaking synthesizer? Maybe in the future, but we want to focus on the engine right now as it is. This is a big project and we've been working on it for 3 years, and we're, once this crowdfund ends, we'll be wrapping up development and, shipping it out and in the future. So yeah, speaking, it'll come in the distant future. It's a plan, but we want to focus right now. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. I'm super excited for the accent transfer feature. I'm going to make everyone but Oliver British. I like that. Will there be details about the voice providers of Oliver, Aram, and Aldine? If the VPs decide to be anonymous, it doesn't matter. I respect their decisions. I think they're going to prefer to be anonymous. We've talked in depth with them, not trying to convince them or anything, but we just wanted to know, how do you feel about this, yada yada. And I think we told about the benefits, the positives and negatives, and I think all three of them decided to keep anonymity. And I get it, and I respect it because it's a little, I don't know, I don't want to say embarrassing, but it's a little bit scary to have yourself be so openly direct, especially with people in the community viewing you directly. So I totally get that. Is 10,000 the... Oh, wait, sorry. We already answered that. Is 10,000 the confirmed cost of producing a Maghni library? We answered that already. Will anything be open sourced? No, I don't think we will. We did talk about maybe having a section where people can produce their own plugins for Maghni, but that'll also have to be in the future because we want to. I have slight apprehensions about that with having people, I don't know, being able to crack it or something. I don't know. And there's questions about TTS. Let's see. I noticed that 3 of the debut voice banks have primary languages listed. Did the voice providers provide specific data for these languages? Yes, they did. They did provide specific data that works within our model. Once again, LanguageNet. We have it set up that libraries, when they do transfer, those are the languages that the voice providers either A, feel very, very comfortable in, or B, are fluent in. They feel very comfortable in it at not a native level, but a very high level, or they are fluent in that language itself. And so yes, those are the ones that they will specifically be added for, and we specifically set our models up so that when they do transfer it, it'll retain that specific accent, and it won't be, I don't want to say a generic cross-slang accent, but like it'll be able to develop that accent. Do you want to talk more about that, Caleb?
I would love to. Um, Currently, what you see as supported language on the crowdfund, those are supported languages are languages that that voice bank has the data for. So while after release, once we push out the permanent cross-lingual update, every library will be capable of speaking, or sorry, I apologize, singing in every language that we support. But for they will be best at singing in those languages since they will have specific data for them. They will additionally be able to cross-lang from those languages utilizing those accents. So, for example, if you wanted to make Orem Spanish sing in Catalan, you would be able to utilize the Spanish data's accent in the Catalan song to provide a more accurate accent, as opposed to utilizing his English accent or a generic accent.
Yes. Let's see here. You said there were third party voices. Are the silhouette characters third party or first party? If it's a mix, can you have noted on the Indiegogo which is which? So the ones that are at the way bottom, we are trying to. So those are mostly going to be first party. But the other ones are listed within like their respective companies. Some of the companies did want to specifically remain anonymous, because they wished to, based on like specifically on partially on how the crowdfund goes, but also because they may be collaborations with another company, and they wanted to keep that within their realm of rights. Next question. Let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to read this. It's very small. Was Maghni originally designed with Arabic language synthesis in mind? Yes, it was. We did toy around with how that would possibly work. RTL languages are specifically very difficult and notoriously historically difficult for languages to work with, on even text to speech or even writing systems. And so we actually planned ahead of like what it would be like to actually write lyrics with it, and we did decide that we are going to use like text Arabic, but yeah, it was originally designated to be around like Arabic, but like expanded to, of course, include all the other languages as well. I really respect. Let's see. Let me see. Oh, here's one. What were the reasons why Augury, formerly known as Aram, or Aram, formerly known as Augury, couldn't make it to Vocaloid?
Oh, is this a question for me?
Yeah.
Oh God. It was just a lot of crossed lines and a lot of strange timing. Generally, it's a bit smoother of a process, but around this time, kind of things between the Ingloid side and everything else came a bit, things started happening. So the stars were not aligned. The universe looked down at me and was like, no. So we shelved them, and here they are today. So, it all worked out. Also, I do want to answer this question. We need to let them speak. Crossy, will Oliver be getting his shoes back? Will he be getting shoes this time?
Original design, I felt like it was difficult to accentuate the bandages without just removing the shoes. For the initial 3 releases, I do plan to have designs for each language. And in 2 of the designs for Oliver, I have ready, he does wear shoes. He does not go barefoot in at least half of his designs. So,
there you have
worry
it.
not. He takes a break sometimes. It's fine, man.
Okay, Narik, hey. Could you go into the various third-party developers and why you decided to work with third parties, even though the project hasn't been funded yet? Yeah. Well, this has been like the case since like the beginning of time. Honestly, every single synthesizer that's done vocal synthesis that has taken on third parties does it before the project is even finished. And they've demonstrated the project to them and they have worked with them. And I also partially wanted third party opinion. Having a direct echo chamber of people that just are like work within us, it leads you to have very thinned out ideas versus like working with third parties where we can have some people that's like, hey, as a third party, we don't like that. Or as a third party, we should do this. So we can actually like work it and implement it with future third parties as well. It's kind of honestly like being a form of like R&D before we even like take on any other third parties. It was specifically so we can see how to best make it moving forward, and they've been amazing to work with. Let's see. Next question. When are we going to see the other merch designs? Very soon, actually. Very, very, very soon. We wanted to like get a little bit of, like showing you guys all of our cards right off the bat isn't very exciting. And we wanted to be able to show you guys further works that we've done as well. And so we are going to be showing the merch very soon. If you were lucky enough to rescue a Vocaloid 3, which one do you think would be a good choice? I would love to work with, I'd love Ivana. I think she's a fantastic Vocaloid and an Irish accent's fantastic. Crossy, Austin, Caleb, do you want to say which Vocaloid 3 you would like?
Honestly,
Mayu.
What'd you say?
Sorry, I pronounced her name bad. I just mispronounced her name, even though she's my favorite.
Mayu?
Ivana.
Mayu.
So Crossy is Mayu.
Oh, I like Mayu. Yeah, she's nice. I think personally, like there are levels to this. Like I talked to the guy that's like on Vocalomackets, and he's like the sweetest guy. Like we connected over like what was that? Mastodon, Vocaloid Mastodon. So sweet. And we chatted a little bit, and I'm kind of like maybe we could pick that up and talk about Yuzuki Yukari because she is my pick. Like out of all the Vocaloids, I thought she was so I don't know.
She's perfect.
I love her. So Yuzuki Yukari, 100%.
And mine, for Vocaloid 3, I have an incredibly large soft spot in my heart for Gettical. But I must mention her every time I speak about Vocaloid. She is a Vocaloid too, so bear with me. But Sweet Anne, she's my absolute favorite. I would do anything for her.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Let's see here.
Wait, Barham?
Oh, Barham.
Was that?
Well, Barham doesn't. He's not from the fandom, so he doesn't really have a preference on Vocaloids. Do you, Barham? Do you know who's your favorite Vocaloid 3?
Good night, Barham.
Oh, shoot. I think he cut off. Barham, can you hear us? I think his mic's cut out for now. Question. I'll wait for this.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
I'm sorry. So unfortunately, I have not been in the fandom before. But I guess from exposure, Oliver probably has to be my favorite.
Well, there we go. It's your lucky day. This is a good question. Will you publish a research paper? I myself am actually slated to publish a research paper relatively soonish. But if you mean like Maghni's, like it is related to Maghni, but it's if you mean a Maghni specific one, we have been writing certain like tests. If we're gonna publish a white paper, maybe. That's up to Caleb and Barham if they feel comfortable exposing how much they've worked on with it.
Yeah, I think once, if we decide that the contributions would be significant enough for science, maybe we would publish a white paper on the technology, but I don't think we would publish a full research paper.
Thank you. Regarding the crowdfund, will other first-party / upcoming third parties be available for purchase via the crowdfund, or will Oliver, Audie, and Aram remain the primary available ones for now? They are going to be remaining the primary ones for now. We especially for the third parties, they themselves, we want to make sure that they'll be able to like get their money, etc. In regards to that. And for like other first party libraries, we are going to like we want to be able to focus on just the three for now. We don't want to like go ahead and start working on all the other ones. So that's why we're kind of like those are going to take the back burner. But we are going to keep the first three as like the main ones. Let's see. Okay, for the 3D model stretch goal, even if you can't say who, do you already know who you'd be planning to commission, or would you be looking after reaching it? We already do know who would be commissioning, and they're a very, very talented modeler. They're fantastic. What would you guys do if Krypton asked to produce Hatsune Miku for Maghni AI? I'd be set. I'd be happy. I'd be like, I'd be over the moon on that one. Have the limited test libraries been mentioned in any capacity before? And a totally unrelated question. I noticed that Tokipona is missing from the link list in the video. Will it be added later? Yes, it will. It's Tokipona is. If we're going to like focus on something, I'd rather be more focused on a language that like, especially an underrepresented language, or a language that is like, especially in like scientific fields, like Vietnamese is not usually. It's usually ignored by scientists, unfortunately, and I would love to, represent that. But, Tokipona is a very easy language to work with. And have the limited test libraries been mentioned in any capacity before? Yes. We mentioned them once, but it was just mostly in passing. I remember talking about it. Do you have any plans to pitch to the greater music community outside of Ingloid/Vocaloid? Yes, we do. We have spoken with, we've actually did a thing called the Pitch Olympics in Wisconsin, and we won. We were one of the winners, and we won the People's Choice Awards by like over 100 more votes. And people, so a lot of people know about it.
Aside from that, actually, we actually
Yes.
did get connected with a major Milwaukee kind of electronic musician network.
Mhm.
So we're actually talking with a very solid amount of like kind of local bigger digital kind of musicians and organizations and platforms that deal with that. So that was like super cool. So like, yes, we are definitely contacting people that have been in kind of that space for a while over here.
Yes. This is a good one. As Maghni AI has an Arabic origin, will we be seeing any native Arabic voices? Yes, Gabriel's voicer is Algerian and is fluent in English, Arabic, and French. So those are the libraries that we have planned for him. Will there be any voice fusion feature like Vocaloid 4 or AI voice? We don't have any plans for that at this time. It's, we're trying to keep mostly on this current track that we're on, but yeah, we don't have any plans for that yet, although technologically it wouldn't be incredibly hard to do. But yeah, we just want to when we release a feature, we want to be able to test it to its fullest extent and make sure it doesn't sound gross and ugly. Are you going to stop using?
Anything we're not already working on.
What was that?
We don't want to promise anything we're not already working on.
Yeah. Are you going to stop using Oliver's Vocaloid character design now that the Maghni version exists? Are they considered different characters, twins, clones? It's honestly just another design. We wanted to keep it relatively similar. Crossy, you can talk a little bit more about that, actually, about the new design.
It really depends on the circumstance. I do think Aldi Rondo is definitely branded to the previous design, and that's going to remain that way. If Oliver AI appears in Aldi Rondo, it will be as a separate character. A lot of merch will be covering Oliver AI, and it really will just like depend on the property and like what we're working on at the time. So you'll see a mix of both in the future.
Yes. Will you be able to import other systems such as MIDIs, VSQs, VSQXs, USTs, SVPs? Yes, we will. It's basically just converting different formats, and it's fairly easy. Whether it be it's converting different JSON logistics. So it's actually really very, very easy. We do only export in our format MAIS, and we only do allow exporting of MIDI as well, but we can import all the other formats. Um, let's see. Were Oliver's French, Japanese, and Mandarin voices recorded from the new voice provider actually sing in those languages? Yes. Those are the languages that he felt the most comfortable in. We asked him which languages that he felt like he could actually like be like, okay. And he's like, oh, these are the languages I feel 100% comfortable in. These are languages that I can sing in, and it'll sound, it'll sound at a fluent level. And we were like, okay, perfect, because he had experience with those languages before, or he spoke those languages natively. Um, is it possible if a Japanese company that the vocal synth is it possible if a Japanese company that the vocal synth community we're familiar with decides to create voice banks for Maghni? Yes, of course. We definitely are looking at working with Japanese entities, companies, and businesses, and we've been in talk with some. And we're very. I want to be honest and like say like the stuff that we've been working on. We've not gone through everything. We have a lot more to show you guys, but I only feel comfortable sharing once again things that I know that we've actually reached the conclusion on in regards to that. This question is: will there be more story about Arm, Oliver, and Adine Krause?
After Ollie Rondo completes, I do plan on moving on to another more narrative stories with them as stars. I do think the other two work a little better as interesting protagonists. Because like we do focus quite a bit on our little baby Oliver, so I do want to create a story where they get more breathing room. And these aren't like canon stories, but they are a way of growing attached to these new characters in the future. That's like a while ahead, probably after launch. Look forward to it all the same.
Yes. Let's see. I'm super excited about the project. Someone who purchased Oliver previously but was unable to reinstall him due to device number limitations, will the same number limits be on Maghni? Caleb, would you like to talk about that? That's your area of expertise, actually.
Sorry, I was handling chat questions again. I'm trying. There are so many. I'm trying to answer some of the smaller
No,
ones.
you're no worries.
So I'm performing overtime here. Would you mind repeating the question real quick? I'm
Sure,
so sorry.
of course. As someone who purchased Oliver previously but was unable to reinstall him due to device number limitations, will the same limits be on Maghni?
Okay, great. Sorry. Thank you so much. So the current structure that we have for Maghni will allow for you to transfer devices at your will. You're never going to uninstall Maghni and having forgot to deactivate your library lose them forever. We are doing an account-based system, so that means that it's tied to your email address and your password. So as long as you keep those safe, you will always have access to your libraries wherever you'd like them. You can switch as many times as you need. It's we aim to be a lot more user friendly with that. The codes system that was previously used was, while intuitive, is unfortunately not super user friendly. It does leave the potential of a computer bricking and losing an activation. It's unfortunately a bit of a bad situation for the customer in that scenario. So we do hope to be able to mitigate that by allowing us to activate and deactivate computers at will, and allowing you to do that through your login. I did see a question about what happens if you forget your password. We will have a password reset system that goes straight to your email.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. And I also wanted to clarify, since people kind of get scared when I mention logins, we are not cloud-based at all. Maghni AI runs on your computer and it runs offline. The only thing is installations and activations will require internet access. Unfortunately, that is a limitation of the system that we're using. And roughly every 30 days, you will have to log back onto the internet and open Maghni just to re-verify to make sure that your computer is still activated. That's nothing on our end. That's just another limitation that we have to face, and we are trying to extend that time as much as possible. But that just allows us to keep you safer, allows us to keep your code safer, and allows more security in our systems. We will support 2 devices that you can log in on. If you attempt to log in on another one, it will be unsuccessful. You would have to deactivate it online first.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm way up in the comments, and I've realized that I have so many, so I had to scroll back up.
And that's why I've been trying to help.
Thank you. Um, in Oliver's demo, the shown phonemes were in Xampa. Will it be more like Vocaloid's Xampa, or will the phoneme table be more like the original Xampa? So it is like the one that was demonstrated in the video. However, we do have it set up that people will be able to change their phoneme systems within the program. It's just simple masking. But if you prefer, let's say, Arpabet, or you prefer Votox, we even talked with CZ about implementing like their phoneme system. So, different methodologies for like whatever you feel the most comfortable with. And it's not going to apply always the same to every single language, but whatever one, this one, that one, the third, you'd be able to choose the one. But yeah, our default one is the one that was shown in the video, but you can change it, and we do have one that's closer to like the Vocaloid style at Xampa.
I do believe we have reached the halfway point, and
yes.
I think we have to take about a 5 to 10 minute break.
Sure. Yeah, we will take a. How do you want to set up the 5-minute break, Caleb?
Would we all just turn off your camera and deafen?
Okay.
We will be back. How does 7 minutes sound at 8:10 CST?
Okay, sounds perfect.
Right. We will all be back momentarily. Apologize for the break.
I do linguistics. I don't do technology. This is not my area of expertise. This is why I specifically focus on this.
I'd stream, but I'm struck with Southern Internet curse.
Yes. I apologize. I'll have this perfected by next time. I hope you'll all forgive me. It's not my area of expertise. I'm a little embarrassed, not gonna lie. Oh shoot, it's not letting me view the older comments. Well, I guess I will just continue reading the new ones. Let me go through all of them. There's less and less comments going this way down. Are they reading these comments, or are they reading in the Maghni AI Discord? Yeah, I'm reading it through my phone. Let's see here. Since Maghni advertises itself as a singer in your pocket, will there be a mobile app for Maghni AI or iPad users? Yes, we are going to plan for it maybe in the future, but right now we're just focused on it being like always by your side. So, anywhere that you go, laptop use case, any other use case like that. Let's see. Is it possible to contact Exit Tunes and bring back Mayu? I have no idea yet in regards to that. Will more languages be added to Maghni AI post-release as future updates? Yes, we will work on it for the future. I'm so sorry that I'm so bad at technology, by the way, guys. I'm old. I'm almost 30. So,
I'm older than you. Don't do that. Goodness.
Well, yes.
Your mic is quiet.
My mic? I didn't change anything about it. Oh.
Me. Oh, God.
Is it just for me? Okay.
How about now?
Oh, much louder.
Oh, how about now?
Sorry.
How is this?
That's perfect, I think.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Let's see. Question for the additional languages of the stretch goal. Does that mean voice providers will be recording more of the samples for these extra languages? I think you mean in regards to the actual additional. Yes, it would mean that the voice providers, specifically for the first parties, would be doing that. All of them are already trained on like IPA for choir, but it would mostly be like languages that are already within their wheelhouse, and it would be specifically made for that. Um, let's see. Next question is scrolling through them a lot. Sorry. I'm trying to find any that we like that we could not say. Will you be posting the full character art of Arm and Audine before the release of Maghni?
I believe that goes across E.
Yes, Crossy.
Yeah. We will be posting the full character art. I'm going to sound evil for saying this, but the current Arm and Audine character art are a little old. Like maybe I think half a year or longer. I did want to redraw them for additional elements. Those are the final designs, but I want to redraw them again. I will be posting the current version as they are now eventually, so you may use them in your edits and so on. But yeah, we will be posting those in a bit. But expect more design changes yet again. Tragically.
Oh, this is a good question for actually Barham and Caleb. Does Maghni AI support lightweight PC/laptop specs, knowing that this software runs offline?
Yes, that is a goal of us to be able to support the average consumer laptop or computer. We definitely won't need any special hardware to run Maghni AI.
Yes. Let's see here. Next question is sorry, there's so many questions. Oh my gosh, this is where I wasn't muted. I'm so embarrassed by that, guys. I'm so sorry. Oh. Okay. Honestly, what's funny about this is this was my cat that was on my chair.
Kitty ASMR.
How are you guys going to fulfill the $10,000 tier if someone who bought it is an individual and non-LLC? Would they be traveling to Kenosha, pay for an audio engineer, audio equipment, or out of pocket? Sorry,
so
the concept
funny.
of like traveling to Kenosha is really funny to me.
Yeah. So what we've done. Oh, sorry.
Oh yes, continue.
Oh, I was just gonna say that we have, Kenosha. We are a very homely place, but we have worked with so many singers and vocalists from so many faraway places. Generally, the singer will be in driving range to a recording studio, and worst comes to worst, maybe we're both stuck in who knows where. We send them recording equipment, and we're like, okay, you could use this to listen, headphones, microphone, pop filter, all of it. So no, you would not need to come all the way to Kenosha. Most likely, we can work with you to create an amazing vocal with stuff that places that are around you. You don't need to come here. Don't worry.
Let's see. What species is the pink soundcake vocal? That would be a question for Soundcake. But I think I'm allowed to answer that. But she is human. I think, like, when I spoke to them, they said they were going to be giving more hints in the future. And yes, why do people keep saying blap blap? Did my chair make... Oh, God.
No,
Austin did a
testing
small
his
audio
mic
test.
on.
Okay, so I don't feel bad. Okay. I did not know OBS is streaming that like that. Okay. Um, what is this? Oh, you already answered that she is 100% human. Yes. Um, let's see here. Let's see. I'm trying to find some more. Would you like to work with a large company like Dreamtonics or AHS? Yeah, we love collaborations, and we do have some planned in the future, like I already said. But it including like even things like a concert would be lovely. We would love to do concerts with other people. Um, we'd love to work about like other companies and corporate entities and make concerts or even like dual sales and whatnot. And oh yeah, this question: is there a button on the microphone itself? There is, but I think it's streaming through my webcam, which I set it through my yeah. Um, let's see. What languages does Maghni work on Mac? Yes, we have plans for Mac, Windows, and Linux. We are using a very flexible language specifically. Once again, all of our stuff is completely in house, and which is a which is specifically we chose this language in this architecture because it's the easiest for us to implement on several different formats. Um, how do you all feel about cross developing? Are there any plans to bring active voice banks from other engines to Magni? I can't say about if there are or there aren't, but we are working with several other people. We already have plans about working with like a lot of different people, and we've been in talks with them. Um, will there be cross language between all the Slavic languages and the performers? Yeah, I mean, like, there's gonna be cross language for all of the languages, period. So Russian libraries will be able to sing in English. But once again, this is down the line. This is not like direct. We want to make sure that we are making the base 100% up to our quality. Um, is the new Oliver AI supposed to be older than Oliver Vocal A3? I've noticed some correlation to his concept designs. Crossy?
It's a little bit older, yeah. Because the new Oliver has you can hear it. He has a lower register now. He has more lower recordings. You can hear more of the resonance. I thought, and making him like slightly older would reflect that more. So if he was 12, he's now like 13-ish.
Yeah.
Late 13.
Miss Natalia, do you like cats? Yes, I have 5 of them. So I sure do hope so. My husband works in a vet hospital, and taking care of animals is a huge focus for us, and that's how we ended up with 5. Let's see. Who owns? It's clear who owns the rights to Oliver by now, but who owns the rights to other libraries? It's their respective owners. Because of the way that it works, it's either the corporate entities or individual owners. So, for any other libraries, we'd have to work with their companies. I heard that there is supposed to be support for both European and Canadian French. Can you elaborate on that? Yes, like I said, there is a speaker conditional system that will retain the accent, but specifically for French, I did develop a unique dictionary as well. Because there's going to be separate words that they do pronounce 100% differently. It's not just pronunciation, but it's also speaker conditional. You could be able to probably change between a French, like a European French accent, and a Canadian one using our model, since you can do cross-accental. Question: if you use example phonemes that aren't present in the selected language, will the voice bank still be able to pronounce them? If you have an English selected bank but input a French phoneme, like if it were to be like on or something like that, no, because of the way the language net works. We'd start seeing like accent bleeding and stuff, and we keep the language nets as like individuals. So what happens if someone buys the physical copies but doesn't have a disc reader? Totally not me, haha. I don't have one either. But Caleb, would you like to talk about the things?
Of course. Sorry. So, for our physical releases, we will have some as USBs, which will allow you to just install everything that is in the USB through your USB drive, which most modern computers support. And we will have disk drives for some of them. However, for every single disk, or I apologize, for every single physical, there will be a redemption code that you can put into your account. And it's incredibly easy. Once you log in, that voice library, it'll come up with a prompt to download it really easily. There is no concern for at all. Physicals are treated similarly to downloads. So as long as you have an internet connection, you will be able to utilize any physical that you get since everything's very account based.
Yes. And there is. I'm trying to read ahead to see if Caleb's already answered them as well. So I'm doing scrolling down.
Yeah. Sorry about that, y'all.
Yes. If in a hypothetical land, what would be a feature that you would like to have improve Maghni? Honestly, like if we were to talk about features in general, I remember one that we were talking about is that having functioning more like a hub. So that implementing features like implementing like talking tracks and whatnot, which this is like infinite money. Implementing talking tracks directly into it being timing based would be a big beneficial feature. That's a major one for me. We've talked about several others with other people. What are your guys' dream features for Maghni?
The little dancing chibi from FL Studio.
Okay.
Yes, like those old Vocaloid videos that had like what is it? Like they were like da na na like in the corner, they'd have their 2D model and they're just like standing there and lip syncing. I want that.
So lip syncing.
Like lip sync.
I
Yeah,
like that both of
that's it.
yours are purely aesthetic and not actually like featural systems.
Well, I'm an artist.
No, that's just
It's okay
funky.
if I do it.
Crossie's like, I'm an artist, and Austin's like, I worked with characters. Barham and Caleb, let's hear your dream features.
Uh, my dream feature for Maghni. I hate I hate to say that that's somewhat of a hard question for me since I tend to just put it into my plan if I think of something. Um, I'd think that I might need a moment to think about that. Barham, you go ahead. I'm going to have to ponder for a minute.
Yeah, there are many features I could mention, but I also don't want to reveal any plans that we might have for
Any
development.
spoilers?
But like one thing, yes. One thing that I think would be nice is if we have voice input for all of the editing. So you can sing a phrase and then you have the lyrics and um, basically your song that in an editable way. And you can use your favorite character's voice to recreate it.
Like
Yeah.
the voice committee?
Like a voice to MIDI, like something like that, correct?
Yes, but more accurate, like with also phoneme alignments
Oh,
and
with
so
like,
on.
yeah. Um, I also forgot one. One that I would love is like a version for the phone or like tablets or something like iOS and Android. I forgot about that one because a lot of people nowadays they just compose on their phone, and so that's a huge thing that I would like to implement if we had infinite amount of resources.
Yeah, we did talk about this like at the very beginning of the project, so a lot of kind of our future dreams are directly in the plan.
Yeah.
So like as time goes along, you're definitely going to see kind of like some stuff pop up a lot.
Another thing that I would personally really like is if we have AI suggestions the same way we have for pitch, but for blending between vocal notes.
That's such a good idea.
I think that would make the singing much more natural.
I did end up thinking of mine. I'm not sure if anyone here has used the first iteration of Vocaloid. However, they had very in-depth formant editing, where you had direct access to certain parts of the vocal, and you could change the frequency or the amplitude of them. I saw a lot of people use those to make extremely realistic vocals. I believe the most notable use would be the Amazing Grace demo featuring Meiko V1. So that would be like my dream thing would be just extreme deep level control over the output with a user friendly UI and a potential of predictions for like what your changes would make, so it would be easier to actually edit those settings. I hope I explained that well.
I love those settings so much. I was actually mad we didn't have them anymore, but they are extremely difficult to use. There's so many of them.
Ask me in like 2 years.
Something that's interesting is a lot of opera singers are able to influence a part of their voice, which is one of their formants. I think like the third format of their voice called the squealo. I'm probably messing all of this up. But they're able to amplify it, and it creates that really booming opera voice, and it gets out super loud. And that's what makes opera like sound so unique. And so being able to change that, and like even a rock vocal would make it sound a lot more present. Let's see. Will we get reference sheets for everyone's designs? Yes. Crossy, you want to talk about that?
Yes, we will. We'll have more in-depth concept art as a reward, but we will also release proper reference sheets. I know there's actually a lot of details on the back of Oliver I would like to share with you all. So we'll have those dropping soon on the Indiegogo in the future for you to enjoy.
Yes. And there is, what will you guys do if the $10,000 tier is bought by a single person? I mean, you know, vanity projects exist. There's a lot of, you know, famous vocal synths that have been put out there that are vanity projects, and that's honestly fine. If you have, let's say you're like, I want to buy this and I want to put on, if I want to hire my favorite, you know, singer, and I want to do this and I want to move this, you know, it's a vanity project, but honestly, vanity projects have become huge commercial entities as well. Do you plan on signal boosting songs on your social media? Yes, of course. I mean, I've already been signal boosting a lot of the art that's been putting out. Oh, Caleb saying, sorry guys, I have Tourette's.
Oh,
sorry. I thought that was a question. Continue, Austin.
No. Oh, I just wanted to talk about signal posting. So something that we noticed, like just using Oliver via social media, is that is like the biggest thing for the fandom. Like just having their work put on a platform, like some kind of visibility. So 100%, we're going to be aggressively expanding kind of like that community, like media discovery and boosting it. We're going to be going past character RP accounts, but 100%. That's our focus, given like a bigger voice to kind of like our Maghni people through what we built.
Yes. Let's see. Next question. I missed this one. Can I marry Audine? Well, I'm an ordained minister, so that's fine. For any returning characters from previous engines, will you be providing impressionists or finding the voice provider a priority? It depends on the voicer. If we were to like get another library and bring him back, it depends on the voice. If the original voicer isn't down, but we have access to the character rights, we would be, you know, finding an impressionist. If the original voicer's down, all the more better. Will Arm and Aldine be getting social media accounts? Austin and Crosby.
Yeah, give us some time. They're on our way. Here they come.
Trying to figure out whether they should be separate or not. Should they be separate? I don't think so. I think they're kind of a unit, even if they're sold separately.
Top like a couple Facebook, like, hello, Aram is supposed to be here, but he was really mean to me today, so I have the phone and he's chasing me. He won't catch me. Yeah, we could do something with that. That'd be really fun. That'd be really fun.
You heard it here first, folks. Annoying couple Facebook.
Stop. That'd be really funny. Yeah, we're planning it actively, even in front of you, so you'll see something soon. Yes.
Yeah, and Aram and Audine will obviously be retweeting your works with them in that case.
Yeah.
Of course.
Will all the vocals be fully illustrated, or will some be like alphabets or something like VI1, VI2? It honestly, I will say for our first parties, we'll probably do character designs. But honestly, if we bring on a third party and they just want it to be like a bird or like the ocean or something that's more representative of the voice than an actual character, something abstract, that's, totally. I do think we'll probably do character designs because I feel like in some way it does make it, at least for us personally, more likely and more relatable for people to be able to directly one to one talk to, like music wise.
Also, it the characters with character designs, even if it doesn't have a huge impact at first, it also lends a lot to their lasting impact because you see the chat is like spamming Big Al and Sweet Ann because they're attached to the characters.
Right.
So, like, it's very good for longevity to have a character design.
Yes.
What file format will Maghni export rendered vocals in? They'll be WAV. And you'll be able to, choose the depth of those. Next question is, will there be control points pitch tuning like Utah Synth V? That is a question for Akupi, but he is not currently on. I think he's actually, the reason that he couldn't make it, actually, I think he's actually traveling home tonight, so he wasn't able to make it. But yes, we have multiple formatting for the way that pitch control can be done. Let's see here. If one of the companies wanting to work on a voice for Maghni wants to make the same voice on SynthV and wants to use the recordings they made for the Maghni library, would that be okay? We do, just like the same as like with Vocaloid, the recordings that are used for Maghni should, stay with Maghni. Having it, we don't want it to like, and also we don't want all the libraries to sound the same. I do think, if a library is being done from A to B, it's best to have it be unique to the new engine that is being put on. Let's see. Do you think the Maghni engine will be able to work with, like, replicate fictional engines? Yes. We will be able to work with conlings as well. One of the ones that we are doing is, like I said earlier, we've been working with the Tokipona community. They followed me on Twitter, which is very funny. But yeah, that is one of the things that, conlings are also a feasible thing in the future.
I need Lojban.
Yeah, Lojban was one that Caleb really wanted really badly. Let's see. I'm trying to avoid all the ones that would be possible spoilers or anything like that.
Many of the questions that we're skipping over,
Yeah,
they will be answered in due time. We promise. We can't speak about them right now. Please understand.
Yeah, we what's the fun if there's like if your whole entire deck of cards is being shown immediately? We want to make sure that everyone is seeing future things as well. This is a question for Barham that Barham might like. Okay, this might be a little bit technical, but what's the F-Zero prediction model for Maghni like? Will there be any sort of feedback feature for that?
So I'm not sure what they mean by feedback feature.
I think they mean specifically if for auto pitch tuning.
Okay, so this is for the generation model, not
yes.
the suggestion model. Actually, we don't have plans for feedback, but we have plans where you can turn on or off certain features. For example, if you want vibrato, and so on. But we will not be using prompts from the user to refine the pitch, unfortunately.
Oh, this one's decent. Okay, I like this question. Is Vocatone going to use their TikTok account more?
Yeah, so there's kind of differences between the social media platforms. So we kind of need to work out on each platform kind of how we're going to relay the information we want to tell you and how we're going to frame the cool stuff we want to show you. Because some are videos, and TikTok's really unique because it's short videos and it's all you navigate it via scrolling. So it's very we're still kind of trying to figure out, because there's just certain content you could focus on there that you can't really. It's different. So we are 100% going to use our TikTok, but it might need to wait until we can produce certain types of media and we connect with the right people to make it as like amazing and comprehensive as possible. Yes, we're going to start using it. We just got to figure out like what kind of stuff we're going to put on there.
Yes.
Does that sound like Crossy? What do you feel, Crossy? What do you feel on this?
That I don't know enough. I don't really use TikTok at all, except in like 2 hour bursts once every 2 months. So it's difficult for me to plan out TikToks. I do want to be able to release more demos through TikToks, like more like fun tests that would be like interesting in short snippets, as opposed to like professional completed songs you'd put on YouTube. I think that
Right.
would be fun.
Something
Right.
like that. Like as you can tell, we're still kind of like we're used to the older platforms. The newer ones, we're still understanding. Please be patient with
Natalia's
us.
calling herself old. I'm the oldest one here.
You, oh my god, I'm like literally the second oldest. You're like, I'm so old. I'm just like, but yes, next question. Oh
Oh,
goodness.
this
I
is
did
yes.
want to touch on themes if we have a chance, because I've seen a
Yes.
lot of questions about themes.
Like
Cur-
editor
currently,
themes?
yes, currently our plan for editor themes will be we will have a few preset themes that you can choose from. The default Maghni theme, there will be a light mode theme, as well as a high contrast theme for people who have hearing disabilities or issues that we might need to compensate for. So we also plan to have library specific themes. So every time you download a library, it inserts another theme for you to be able to use. You don't have to use it, but you're open to use it if you'd like. Additionally, every track will you will have a choice of colors to choose from, as well as character specific colors if you would prefer that route. They will all be unique and will have graphics as well as colors specific to that character. So I hope you guys look forward to that and enjoy it whenever they release.
Right.
I
Sorry.
want to let you know that I fought for this. Vocaloid 1 did it, and I'm just like, we gotta do that. But like more, I was like, look at Neopets. I was like, look at the Neopets brushes. They do so much. You're gonna love this. You are gonna
But
be
yeah, I would
obsessed
really
with
like the way
this.
Vocaloid 1 does it. My Kaito 1 is like my default skin.
Right.
It's so
Absolutely.
fun. You guys are gonna love it. Literally.
There she went.
Sorry, for some reason it disconnected me. I didn't. I don't know what happened. Um, can you guys still? Can they still see and hear me? That was strange. I think my power just actually faltered for a second. Is everything still good?
Give me a second to check.
Like you're still streaming.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So that was weird.
We should be good, yes.
Okay. Yeah, my power just faltered for a moment. That was scary. Next question is: will we be able to? I saw a question about will there be a reference for phoneme/dictionary libraries? I actually plan on specifically having YouTube videos set up that will allow people to read an example word, and it'll go along with it, and that way it'll make it easier. I think one of the biggest issues for me when I first was getting into vocal synthesis was the fact that there was no references for like a lot of the words. You could read it, but it's a little bit harder to read it than just to hear it. So I think that maybe having like a reference for that would be especially important. Yeah, so that's my opinion on that. And yeah, I think we'll definitely be implementing that and making it a little bit easier for people to learn.
Do you mind if I butt in on that as well?
Yes, of course.
With the phoneme system question, we do have an extensive phoneme backend planned where we will be able to effectively customize your own desired phoneme set. So you'll be able to choose between some predefined ones, such as, for English specifically, Exampa, ARPABET, the system that was utilized in Yamaha's Vocaloid software. Oh my god, we've hit 90%! Yay! Sorry.
Wait, what are we hit?
90% on the crowdfund.
Oh,
It's very nice.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. It
Thank
means a
you all
lot to me.
so
I'm gonna
much.
cry.
But we do plan to be for you to be able to define your own phonemes and relate them to existing ones. For example, you could define the letter P as an alternative for
Yeah.
the open brace, which is a in English. So if that was your desired system, it's completely up to how you would like to use it.
Yes. I saw something that was a really good one, and I scrolled past it. What are we doing to circumvent piracy? We actually, Caleb.
Due to the nature of that question, I really can't say that much. Yeah, privacy by obfuscation is, of course, an extremely important tactic. However, we are doing all in our power to uh, avoid piracy, with the most important steps being attempting to provide an affordable product. The number one reason for piracy is an unaffordable products, and while these are typical, like vocal synths as a whole, a large majority of the user base is people who do not have their own source of income. So we hope to eventually look into providing alternatives for them, whether it be the limited test libraries or some other routes that we might search. We hope to be able to lessen the desire for piracy and instill like a desire to support us and prove that we're worthy of your support.
Yes, perfect. I saw one that was. Oh, someone asked what the cat that was on my chair was. It's Oreo, the one that was making noise. She's very fat, and we've tried to put her on her main diets. Her name's Oreo. She looks like a double stuffed Oreo. So let's see. For the exporting render track, will Maghni be able to isolate aspirations to a separate track? The way that we currently do breaths is it is considered a phoneme. And so we have a specifically actually trained system where breath samples are actually trained into the model. So it actually is reflective on the previous note and the next note. So it's actually an AI breath model. I don't know why I didn't explain it like that the first time. But yeah, we just have to basically export all the things that are labeled as breaths. So yeah, it would totally be a feasible thing. Let's see. Can we get a Vocatone library pronouns rundown? Can we get their pronouns? This was actually a question we were ready to.
Yeah, we decided. The characters don't have like official genders. But in hold on, I gotta like charge up the sentence. Like in related properties, concretely, their genders. Oliver is just he/him, just by like the timeline. Uh, Aurum is they/he. Yeah, we've mostly been referring to them as they/them in the past, but like he isn't like objectively wrong. A lot of people were like really jumpy about that, even though we've never said Aurum's pronouns. We just used they/them for a while.
Yeah.
And then Audine is the reverse, which would be she/they. So they isn't correct. They is not incorrect either.
Right.
But yeah, like that would be for any narrative properties. Like Aurum is canonically non-binary in those circumstances, and agender, like genderless as a library.
Will Maghni be able to work as VST, VSTI support, whatever? Will it have ARA V2 supports like V6 and SV? Not at launch. Because of the architecture that we're working with, it will take a little bit. It's a future plan thing, but we want to make sure that we're working on it in the future. But it's not an at-launch feature. We would like it to be, and especially if it could, like, syncopate the time with the base thing, but it'll take a little bit. So we just want to focus on the base engine right now. Will you have a feature to make the icons/buttons larger for visually impaired too? That wouldn't be like difficult at all. Yeah, that'd be wouldn't be at all difficult. Let's see. Will there be any database statistics for any of the vocals? I'd love to have a look at the big spreadsheet. It would fill me with joy. I don't understand this question. My apologies. If you mean like how often you use a vocal, we don't have anything like that planned. If you mean like things like the minimum and maximum range of a library, we do that. We actually calculate it based off I actually built a Python script that takes the highest note and the lowest note, and it calculates about it off that. And we've realized that our engine takes about like, for the optimal range is like half an octave lower than the lowest note and about an octave higher. Not set in stone. Some libraries are just built to go all the way up, and some libraries are just built to go all the way down. But that's just based on what I've calculated and some math. That's where I feel a little bit more comfortable. Let's see. Do you think phonemes will sound different amongst different vocals, like how English vocaloids, their ah have more of an ah sound? Yeah, it is. Will it be based on accent? Yeah, it's because the libraries are speaker conditional. Arm will retain a more American accent, while Oliver will retain a more British accent, and so transferring from one library to the next on a MAIS file will not be difficult at all. It'll still work functionally the same. Let's see. I'm looking. Well, okay. Okay. Never mind. Caleb already answered that. It was about if Maghni will have, and because we are more anti-piracy, will it be invasive at all? And of course not. We don't want to be invasive at all. Like, that's not at all our goals.
Yes,
Yes, Caleb, we talked about that.
all of the measures that we're taking to prevent piracy, they are incredibly respective. We do not ask for any permissions beside what is absolutely necessary for Maghni to run. We aim to be as user-friendly and respectful of your data and your systems as possible. There won't be any funky DRM or invasive data tracing or like that. We assure you.
Let's see. Oh, this is will there be a default vocalist included in the program like Utao? Actually, that's what the test libraries we have are for. They're like very simple libraries, specifically, for testing out small amounts of features within the engine. So yeah, they are completely free. That's what they're built for. Oh, consonant and note counts as well as diphones and other stuff. Sorry for not being clear. Oh, if you mean for like the actual library, no, we won't be posting any of the stuff that like the voicers themselves. I won't allude to them, but it would. We aren't gonna. What's inside the libraries are proprietary, and if it's like, let's say, a voicer recorded one of the original songs, but they want to be anonymous, it depends. And so, yeah, it doesn't have anything related to like how many things were recorded in relation to that. Let's see. I'm trying to read all of them at once. My apologies. Let's see. Will the completionist bundle ship all the tiers together or separately? I think that's probably a killer question.
I'm not entirely sure what you mean by separately.
I think they mean like would they ship all the like the merch and everything separately?
I'll be consolidating everything as much as possible. If you got multiple tiers, then it'll all be in one box. The same with add-ons. With the completionist bundle, it'll be in one larger box. Shipping is going to be a fun process.
Yeah, I asked you about that because you know more about the shipping process than I do, because the person that we are working with for shipping is, let's see. Next question. Will Maghni do tutorials on how to use all the features? This question says, I'm strongly abbreviating it. Yes, I want to do very in-depth tutorials. With as much that we have planned, I want to make it as easy and viewable as possible for people to be able to understand, like from the beginning to end, from making your first single note to making a whole entire composition, how easy Maghni will be. Let's see. I'm trying to read this. Okay, next question is, will Maghni have different power management options, like a difference between max performance, power saving, and a balanced option? And I feel like that's a Caleb or Barham question.
We do plan to have more limited modes that will run the backend AI in a more performance light manner. Barham, do correct me if that's wrong, please. Um,
We are keeping that as an option, but our main goal is to uh, like make the highest quality synthesis be cheap enough that basically every device can use it. So we would like to avoid it uh, as much as possible, but it's also an option to have lighter renders if we needed it.
Yes. Let's see. I'm trying to find the next question that we haven't really answered yet. Um, what is the minimum requirement in terms of hardware and software for Maghni? We want it to be very light, so it probably won't be like we want it to be. I have an older computer, not this one that I'm working with, but I do have an older computer that we're going to be using for like testing things out. But Barham, would you like to talk a little bit more about that minimum requirements?
Yeah, so we're still optimizing the software as much as I can. So unfortunately, I can't name like a minimum floor for the requirements because we're still lowering it.
Yes. Let's see. What type of voice types can we expect from future
But
Maghni?
again,
Sorry, continue.
sorry, like our goal is that the user will not have to think about their machine resources when they're using Magni. So it shouldn't be something that you worry about, like changing performance modes or making sure you have the right type of hardware.
Yes. Um, let's see. Sorry, I'm going through all of the questions. Can we talk about what type of voice types we're going to be expecting on future libraries? I have been in talk with a lot of different singers. I've been talking, of course, Gabriel Glossi. I kind of like talked about a little bit in like the crowdfund, but it was very minimal. Them being both trained jazz singers. I have plans for like working with some rock vocalists that I've been talking with. Two different opera singers from a conservatory near me. I've been working with two actual country music musicians, both whom I went to high school with, and now work as professional musicians. Go figure. So yeah, we have plans down the road. Of course, we're just working on the main three for now, but I want to keep things like always prepared. I want to have a 5 year plan. A 5 year plan is very important for me.
Personally, for
Yeah.
Vocatone, super quick, I think Crossy actually wanted to talk about maybe one of the libraries that we did reveal when it comes
Yeah.
to future plans.
There was a question about like, will there be any free libraries in the future? I don't think so, but we do. Wow. Vocatone is planning on releasing more affordable libraries for people who can't afford like the bigger ones. So like they're going to be a little more compact, but about as high quality as it needs to be for your needs. So it's a good starter. It's one of our previews we released recently. It's a beginner vocal for beginners that also includes the price. So that's something to look forward to as well.
We're definitely like, kind of planning our lineup around not just, quality and, character appeal, but also accessibility is one of the biggest things that we've kind of been looking at, especially since, history. But yes, so future vocals from both sides, from third parties, first parties, they're a bunch. We made sure to vary them. We plan kind of together, so you're going to get a big, big, very diverse range, and we're excited to show you.
Yes. Um, next. Um, let's see. I'm going through some of these. I'm sorry. I'm going through all the questions that aren't like spoilers or everything. With phone times, would it be possible to change how fast of vocal transitions between vowel sounds, like blending from vowel A to vowel B. Um, it would, I think that would be a different sort of like technological feature. For it to change the formant shifting, it would be mostly the length of the individual phonemes and like the timing between them. But for it to be like this length between like I and O, like from vowel A to vowel B, that'd be a different technological feature, I feel. Um, let's see. However, we were going to show off a early Oliver sample when Maghni was still fresh, and he does kind of, because it was still learning. We actually were going to. Actually, Caleb, do you want to demonstrate that, the Oliver sample? Would you be fine with that? You're muted, babe.
Thank you. Fair warning, it is a much earlier sample. It's not representative of the current engine quality, and it's frankly a lot worse than what we hope to show you in the future, and it's a lot worse than the current product we have now.
It's an older, earlier sample. Okay, I will click on the. Oops. Click on it so that people can hear. Oh, you already loaded up. Okay, you can probably play it, and I'll probably play through the thing.
Okay.
Oh shoot. Oh wait, can you restart it?
Of course. Sorry.
I
Are you
had it
ready?
muted. My apologies.
You're fine.
This is
Are
an
you ready?
old Oliver sample, where he
The old Oliver sample.
he hallucinates and everything. Okay, play it.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer, do. I'm half crazy for the love of you. It won't be a stylish maid. I can afford, I can, but you look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle build or two.
Again, not representative of current quality. This is a very old sample we have that we thought we might just share as how far we've come.
Yeah, how far we've come, and this is before we implemented. Oh, I never even talked about our We actually.
Can't afford carrot.
Oh my goodness. We actually implemented a new methodology for one of the reasons that we noticed that we have higher quality than we used to is Barham actually created a unique model of denoising where it will compare like the standards of like what the actual voice should be versus like what it shouldn't be, and that's why the recordings sound closer to the actual recording quality. So it sounds a lot closer than like it sounds a little bit less synthesized. And we were very happy with that. But that was before it was implemented, and he hallucinated a lot of very fascinating growling noises.
Let's maybe take like one more question, and then after
Yes.
this, maybe we should.
Yes. I'm going to see
What
if there's
about-
anything
no.
else that.
I saw a very important one from Celestri. It was what will happen if the goal isn't met for the crowdfund?
Hi, Celestri. We love
Hey,
you.
Celestri. How are you doing, dear? So we are. This is, we are very, very honored that we've hit the 90% goal as is, and we're very, very very happy about that. If we don't, we will still continue, trucking along. It'll just take us a lot longer. So this will definitely help us be able to have more of a major focus on Maghni, and it be more focused for like full-time development.
Yeah, Maghni will continue regardless, but as you might have noticed, the AI synthesis scene has gotten extremely competitive in the past year or two. So, we don't want to go slow, is the thing.
Yeah, we've
We'll
We've been
proceed regardless.
sorry.
You go.
We've been working on Maghni for about 3 years now, and we're so excited to get it out. And part of reasons for the delay, aside from the switch from concatenative to AI, was a lack of more solid funding. So this will help speed up our efforts significantly, and hopefully speed them up by about 2 years and get it to you much sooner.
Yeah. We're honestly very. I'm trying not to cry because I'm very happy. I'm an emotional crier. But we're very honored that you guys are taking the time to like listen and stand by us and understand like what we've been working on. I know that there was a little bit of a hiccups during the stream. I've been a little bit anxious myself about this whole entire stream, and I'm even having my camera on, bearing my whole entire soul to you guys. It's a very big process. So we're very, very honored that you guys are taking the time to listen to us and hear what we've been working on. And it feels very good. And we're showing you all that we have, and we're very grateful for your support in every way that you guys have given us, even just being here.
Thank you all so much. Thank you so
We love
much
you.
for putting your
Thank
trust
you,
in us,
guys.
especially.
Thank you all so much.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, and I guess that is it. Okay, I guess we'll be seeing you guys some other time. Have a nice night, everyone.
Till next time.
Feel free to reach out on the Twitter with any more questions you have.
Good night.